Good afternoon and welcome everyone to the 2024 ACC Women's Basketball Tip-Off, and I am happy to have Wake Forest in the house with us. Happy birthday to head coach Megan Jeppia. Happy belated birthday to Tamara Hines. Am I allowed to ask how old?
23.
23.
Yeah.
And then also with us, Elise Williams, who doesn't have a birthday.
Nah, no birthday.
We'll hang together. Megan, just to start, can you kind of give us kind of a brief overview of where this team's at right now, what we should expect in the coming months?
Well, I think we've spent a lot of time working on the defensive end, but really it started when we went to Europe this summer, right? We got a chance to practice 10 days, kind of get a feel for the new people, get a feel for where we were at that point in time, play 3 games, figure it out as we're over there, and then come back and get started right away again. You know, there really wasn't a lot of time. So I think, you know, we kind of evaluated last year and saw that a lot of our losses, you know, I mean, it could be a lot of different things, but a lot of it was just what we did on the defensive end and how it changed from the first year to the second year and the areas in which we need to improve on. That part, and then really just making sure our shot selection is good. We get to the free throw line a little bit more than we got there last year. We actually shot the ball well there, but we didn't get there enough. And I think Demira and Elise are 2 people that we expect to be at the line a lot this season.
Ladies, your coach just mentioned trip to Europe. What did you each learn about this team while you were doing your exhibition?
I learned a lot about my teammates and how they play as well. I think it was like a very good eye opener to be able to communicate with them where they would feel more successful on the floor and making sure that I can put them in the position to do that.
I agree. The trip definitely, it was hot. We were, doing a lot of exercises, and people. You can learn a lot about someone when they going through something. So we were all over there, kind of struggling a little bit at times. So it was eye opening to see how different people would react to things like that. But yeah, overall, it was a good trip.
Obviously, 3 new teams entering the league. If you could, right now, how would you describe the league to everyone on the outside with the addition of the 3 new schools?
I mean, best conference in the country. I really believe that from top to bottom. The talent is really good. Every team has a marquee player or 2 or 3 or 4 for some teams. So I think it's that piece. I think, adding the West Coast teams, maybe a different brand of basketball, which will challenge everybody in the conference. Maybe get you better prepared for the NCAA tournament because you see all different types of teams and styles. So I think that's a big part of it. I think it's an exciting conference to watch because there's a lot of close games, I feel like, each and every year. And I think everyone's battling to get in those top 9 spots, right? So it's like pretty cutthroat when it gets down to it, and you've only got one chance at everybody this year. So you got to make the most of it.
Megan, you've had success as assistant coach, as head coach at American, and now you're entering your 3rd season at Wake. Is the projection going in? Is this program going in the right direction? And is this where you thought you'd be at right now, going into year 3?
I'm hoping that we're where we need to be in year 3. I do think this team is really solid from every position. We have depth this year, which we haven't had since I've been here. We have depth, experience, right, and this grit to us that we want to get out there, we want to win, we want to figure out ways to win games that we haven't been able to in the past, and I think we're showing that in practice every day. We have a group of practice guys that are outstanding. They really are, and they're making it hard on us. And I feel like they're raising our level in the month of October, and I think that's the best thing that could happen to us this year.
Elise, you led the team, points, rebounds, assists, and steals last year. And I say this humbly, have you added anything to your game now going into this season?
I definitely have. Something towards the end of the season that me and Coach Meg talked about was, hey, what do you want to work on? So different things like that, like floater shots, around the rim to be more efficient, for sure I've worked on. But other than that, I'm just kind of fine-tuning everything at the moment.
Demira, what about yourself? Have you added anything to the game?
I'm working on that jumper. I'm going to make sure I try to take a lot more perimeter shots and even 2s and stuff like that, just to expand the floor.
Mm-hmm. And Megan, it's October, but right now in terms of this team, what are the similarities from a year ago in terms of style of play, and what may be some differences that we can really hone in on?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're a similar team in the sense of the players that are on the team, right? I think you have that, but you just have that growth of another year, right? And I think last year we went through role changes, which was really difficult because it was like almost everybody that was starting at a different role, except I think Kaya.
Yeah.
She played the same role, but everyone else was different. So that was a tough thing to go through. But I think what we see this year is like we're making better decisions. I think at the end of the day, when you have experience, it comes down to the decisions that you make at both ends of the floor. And you see them making better decisions in practice, especially when you put a group together that you think may start. You start to see those things, and it's kind of fun. And I think they're enjoying the challenge every day of the adversity that us as coaches are trying to present to them and that the practice guys present to them.
Amira, what did you learn about yourself and your team by watching last year?
I think I got a better perspective of everything, like an overall perspective. I feel like I was talking to the coaches a lot more as well, just saying like, okay, like now I'm starting to see what you guys are saying, like sitting there and watching it. It's like, it's a lot easier to kind of see it as it's slowed down, because I feel like sometimes when you're on the court, everything's moving so fast, so you're not paying as much attention. So I feel like I've gotten a greater overall perspective of like what's really expected and what we need to do to be successful.
Has it given you, taking what you've learned, have you been able to apply that? Like, do you feel like you're a better ball player now because of that?
100%. I think me sitting out that year, even though it was very like frustrating, it was helpful at the same time, and giving me like an extra opportunity to really hone in on what I need to work on and what the team needs to work on as a whole, and like putting it on the floor.
To each player, give me a teammate that right now, maybe people don't know it, maybe it's a freshman, maybe it's, whoever it is, that people don't know about that you have seen and they're making the strides that they're going to be an impact player for you guys this season.
Aurora Sorby. She's from Norway. I don't know how to say her last name. But she's a freshman, and her work ethic is unlike anybody I think I've ever seen in my life. So she's someone who's definitely going to have a big impact.
I would say Tamia Jones. She's my grad buddy, but she's really pesky on defense, like getting after the ball and everything like that and trying to slow them down. So it's really helpful whenever she's on the ball coming down the floor.
Megan, you mentioned just different styles of play now with the additions. Did you and your staff do anything differently? And especially knowing that you had the overseas tour coming up, did you do anything differently coming into those 10 practices to prepare, knowing 3 new teams, 3 new styles and whatnot?
I mean, we didn't know what type of style we were going to see over there. I mean, we had recruited over there, so you kind of have an idea. We knew they play a lot of team basketball, so I think we were a little shell-shocked in the first game because their passing was super good, right? And it's like, whoa, okay, we got to get back into the flow. And we ended up doing it in the second half, which was nice to see. But there wasn't really anything different. I think it was just more of, right, let's put in our base offense and our base defense. Let's play it to the best of our ability and see where we can make changes and then add to when we get back in the fall. So that's kind of what we've done. I do think we're further ahead than we've ever been at this point just because we have those 10 practices and we can move things along quicker because we have upperclassmen. So I don't have to wait for 5 freshmen to catch up, right? I have 2 right now. And they've learned pretty fast. I think they have pretty good IQ, so it's actually helped us move things quicker.
Elise, give us the scouting report on Namira.
Heavy post presence.
Oh, you sound like a professional now.
Heavy post presence, can finish with either hand, outside jumper. Play it accordingly. I mean, because, before it was just, she's, on the block and then people weren't really guarding her on the perimeter. But now people, you got to play honest basketball. So.
Elise did such a good job, Namira. I'm going to ask you the same thing of her.
3-level scorer, she's very aggressive on the attack. Don't let her see the rim whatsoever or else done for.
Definitely have weight student athletes on the stage right now, the way they're giving us.
Forgot about that, right?
Yeah, I forgot. My bad. Ladies, what do you want the rest of the ACC to know about this team? Forget last year. This team right now.
I mean, this is something that I think I got asked earlier, and I got 2 words, and it's we're coming.
Let's say expect the unexpected. We have a lot of depth, as Coach was saying, and like a lot of people have really been putting in the work to make sure that we're getting those higher percentage shots and everything like that. So expect us to come out swinging from the jump.
I guess I'll ask you too, Megan.
Do I even need to answer after that?
Well, I'm not gonna say at least it's like ball or relaxed stuff.
You know.
We're coming.
I mean, we have a chip on our shoulder. We should. We've been in a lot of games, a lot of close ones, haven't come out on top. And that's what we're trying to do now is figure out what we need to do to come out on top in those situations.
And I don't want to give any trade secrets away, but from what I'm hearing from you today, a lot of experience, and so it's better decision making. Does that allow you to put more in and do more, or are you okay, never mind.
Yes,
No, I'm gonna,
yes, we can do more. Not necessarily put like a ton of like plays and stuff, but like you can adjust to how people are guarding you. And I'm trying to get them to understand, well, if they guard this way, then we do this. Like there's options within what we're doing. And with the experience, they know how to use those options. And that's kind of fun as a coach. It's a fun year for me because you have that experience. And you can call something in a timeout and they're like, I got you. I know what you're saying.
well, and I'm gonna flip it. I think when you become leaders, when you become the elder statesmen on the team, I think your relationship changes with your head coach. How has that evolved, especially coming back from the trip this summer?
I feel like Coach knows that we're seeing what she's seeing a lot of the time, so it's like sometimes she doesn't have to say anything. It's kind of like expected, like we've been with her for this long at this point, so we know what her expectations are on the floor, off the floor. So just kind of like making sure that we're instilling that in the younger players so that they know what to do moving forward.
Yep. I'll say the same thing. Like we kind of just have just like an understanding. It doesn't have to be spoken, or it can be, and you know. We have each other's back.
So basically, coach doesn't need to call as many timeouts.
Yeah,
Because you guys got this now.
Although at least it's been want me to call a timeout.
Sometimes I want her to call a timeout, but I know how much she cherishes her timeout. So I can recognize when we need a timeout and when I'm like, okay, no, like let's just wait till the 5-minute or wait till media, and you know.
All right. Well, since you know your coach so well, into the game situation, you've got the ball. Who's getting the shot here between the two of you?
Well, what's the score? Yeah, what's the score?
I'm putting you on the spot. You're down 2. Are you going for the win, or are you going for
The win.
Yeah, we're going to win. Yeah.
Cutthroat over here.
Yeah, we're going for the win.
All right, ladies. Obviously, new year, and from what I'm hearing, much higher expectations. Past is the past. Give me one word that you think will summarize this season for you.
One word.
I can go. You want me to go?
Please.
Tears. Tears of joy.
That's a good one. Okay. I'd say, dang, you just set the bar. I don't know. You know. One word to describe this season. God.
Extraordinary.
God, why is it so hard?
Because your coach set the bar.
Yeah, she did. I'm like, magic.
That's a good one. I like that.
Magic.
I'm going to give you guys your infomercial moment. Why wake?
Because we're always the underdog. Why not go for the underdog? They're going to come out on top at some point.
Yeah. I agree. Why not wake?
To me, it's more like you can make history here. It's rare at a Power 5 school that you can do that. You can make history, right? I think we've learned how to become a family in these 3 years, and that's really special. And I think not everybody gets that experience.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to follow you guys this season. Wake Forest women's basketball. Look out, ACC.
Thank you.
Go Deacons.
You guys got quite the entourage, right?
Oh, yeah.